Hey, what's poppin' everybody? This is Saber054. It's been quite a while since I showed you guys a deck profile on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you guys my list for the Relinquished deck that I recently used. Relinquished is actually a pretty nice anti-meta deck, I would say, that's very cheap to make actually for Master Duel. Nearly all of the cards, at least the ones that I'm using, are common slash rare, with a few exceptions like the staples, Dust Reborn, Raigeki, and I guess the allures, pre-preparation of rites, but everything else, like the other monsters and stuff, are basically commons and rares, so it should be very easy to make. Plus, the extra deck is mostly there as an extra, basically, a just in case extra deck. We don't really go into it. Okay, so Relinquished, we're using the actual Ritual Relinquished. I don't have any of the Thousand Eyes Restrict or the Millennium Eyes new Restrict fusion card. You can have them if you want, build the deck a bit differently, but you don't need them for this deck. The main appeal for our combo is getting out Relinquished very easily. It's a ritual monster that's only level 1, so you just need to sacrifice slash tribute one card for it. So very easy to get out, and you basically grab the card back if we use something like a Millennium Eyes, Illusionist, and some other cards, but I'll talk about that later. So very easy for summoning condition. You can steal an opponent's monster. It is a targeting effect, but it's still pretty good. Equip it to Relinquished. If Relinquished dies by battle, your opponent takes the battle damage, and after the equipped card is destroyed, Relinquished remains. It won't die by battle, essentially. And of course, it copies the stats of the monster you steal. So it's pretty good. The great thing about this, using the kaijus, is that we can get dual use out of the kaijus. We can get rid of a problematic monster or an opponent with a kaiju, and that Relinquish can easily steal it. So, in a sense, we basically lost nothing. Instead of just trying to equip a monster that would negate your shit or just do something, you can just do it with the kaiju, basically. I also need to have you also got to have the triple Black Illusion Ritual, the actual ritual card for Relinquished. We don't really have anything else. Other decks like the Cyber Angels have multiple ritual cards they can utilize, but for Relinquished, we can only just use this. I guess you could do like the Dark Chant ritual card, which just works for any ritual monster as long as it's Dark type. There's one for Dark and one for Earth. The problem with that card is that you need to use sacrifices tributes for the exact level, so you would have to like sacrifice a level 1 monster. So I don't recommend using that card. But I guess it's another option. Other than that, the other monsters are going to be pretty standard, I would say. We max out the triple Manju, triple Senju, and I do 2 Sonic Bird as well. These are like our on-summon searchers. Grab ritual monsters or ritual spells. I like Sonic Bird more than Senju, but because Senju is a light attribute monster, I do 3 of him and 2 of the Sonic Bird. The reason why it's important, because it's a light attribute, is because I'm running the Envoy of the End, Chaos End Dragon, Envoy of the End, basically. Once again, another common rare card that you can just throw in here. I'm using this because I don't have BLS. If you have Blackluster Soldier, which is an Ultra, it's probably better to run that card because it's more consistent. Crazily enough, the Blackluster Soldier is more broken than Envoy of the End now, but Envoy of the End, its effect could still come up, you never know. So you can just send everything to the graveyard and inflict direct damage to your opponent. Pretty broken. Okay. For the kaijus, I do triple of the dark kaiju, like the fiend dude. I forget his name, but basically because it's dark, so it means that we can lure him away. And once again, it can be used as fuel for Chaos and Dragon. And 2 of the light, I think it's the Thunder dude, the 3K one. Because there's always with this chance we can just summon a kaiju, the dark kaiju in our opponent's field, summon our own kaiju, and then run it over, or just get a big monster like that easily. Or, I mean, since we aim to put a kaiju in our opponent's field and then steal it with Relinquished, if you steal the big guy, the 3K guy, then you get the 33K attack too, so it's pretty good. I run some Relinquished, or I guess Restrict support cards, I guess the new stuff from the Legendary Treasures series I think it was the second one with Pegasus, and then Season 1 when you got all the reprints. But basically, it's the new Faceless Illusionist Mage with an effect, and the Millennium Eyes Illusionist, or whatever the name is. Millennium Eyes Illusionist is great because its effect, if you use it as a cost to ritual summon Relinquished, Relinquished gets summoned on the field, and then Illusionist is triggered on the graveyard and you grab it back. So in a sense, you basically ritual summoned Relinquished for free. So pretty good. And if your opponent somehow destroys your equip card while you have Millennium Eyes Illusionist in your hand, you can do quick effect, steal another opponent's effect monster and equip it onto Relinquished, or any other Relinquished-esque card like Thousand Eyes Restrict, Millennium Eyes Restrict, whatever. So that's pretty good. And the Faceless Mage is also a very good card. We max it out because once Relinquished dies, you can summon this card from the hand or the graveyard, so it gives you some nice defense, free card advantage once again. And then when this card dies, you can revive a Relinquished again. So it's pretty good. It's like an endless loop. Your opponent is going to have to figure out a way to stop it. And it's quite strong, actually. It's going to annoy your opponent if they just can't negate it or can't get over it, basically. So that's about it. Everything else, I guess, is kind of standard. I do have a few other techs that I run, like the Double Allure. We run a lot of Dark Monsters, so give our deck a little bit of speed. Remove something that we don't need and draw cards. I got the Double Battle Fader too, as you guys can see. It's something that we can just allure away if we can't use, but I have it because it's a way, I guess, to give me some defense. I don't have any trap cards in this deck, as you guys can see, so it can be defense for an OTK, but at the same time, I say that Battle Fader isn't the same card as it used to be. Your opponent can do... decks these days that your opponent might be using negate a lot of shit easily, so you might try to use it to save yourself from an OTK. They're just going to negate the effect. But if it works, then it's going to be pretty good. Negate their attack. We also get a level 1 body on the field that you can just easily sacrifice or relinquish once again. I mean, if everything else fails, we can just allure it away. I got the 1 Dark Eruption, so I can grab a Dark Monster with a weak attack back. We have plenty of targets. Relinquished. We got the Millennium Eyes Illusionist. And even Battle Fader, I guess. I mean, if it's going to get removed if the effect is used, but if it somehow ends up in the graveyard, you can grab it. So that's pretty good. I wish I had there was a way for me to utilize a Recurrent Nightmare, which lets you grab 2 Dark Monsters with 0 defense, but we don't really have enough targets. Millennium Eyes Illusionist has 1400 defense, unfortunately. It would have worked out better if it had 0. Anyway. And that's about it. I mean, 1 pre-preparation of rites. Since we're using a ritual monster that has a specific ritual card, it's compatible. So you can grab both pieces, basically, get a nice +1. I just have 1, so I'm only running 1. But maybe if you have more, then you would want to run more. You can only activate once per turn, 1 of those cards per turn. So having multiple can kind of suck when you can't play them stuck in your hand. So maybe don't go overboard and run 3, maybe 2, I guess. But we have other searchers too, besides preparation of rites. I mean, I've got the Mounju, Senju, Sonic Bird. They're going to give me searchers too. So that's good enough. And a few hand traps. I mean, Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogre. Yeah, Ghost Ogre. I mean, it's light. It's going to fuel Chaos End Dragon. I guess if you have more Ash Blossom, you might want to do more Ash Blossom than Ghost Ogre, but Ghost Ogre can put in some work too, sometimes, I suppose. Typical staples, Raigeki, Duster, you know, MSTs, Lightning Storm, I guess. And that's basically the deck. Nice little anti-meta deck. It can't really do outlandish stuff like Adamancipator or Burning Abyss, you know, with the Phantom Knights, but... And what it's trying to do, like, it's a bit predictable with the kaijus and stealing the kaiju. That's your only basically linear strategy. But when it works, it's pretty nice because you're pretty anti-meta thanks to the kaijus, you know, 5 of them. And you can gain card advantage by summoning Relinquished. Or be even, I guess, with sacrificing stuff like the mage, the Faceless Mage, or the damn Millennium Eyes. Ah, damn, so many fucked up names. Millennium Eyes Illusionist. That's right. Okay. I guess touching upon the extra deck a little bit. Some standard, I guess, rank 4s or synchros since you're running tuners too, but it's only a just in case extra deck. You don't really go into any of the monsters. It's some very specific situations. I'm running the level 10 Black Rose Dragon, as you guys can see. I didn't have the actual Black Rose Dragon on the original one, but I now do. So you might want to run it as well, just so that if you do summon the level 10 Synchro, you can get the level 7 Synchro 2 for free thanks to its effect. And I mean, that's basically the deck. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, and before I forget, if you want to throw in like the Fusion Destiny, some D heroes, I guess you could. You're running the allures, so if everything else fails, you can just allure the D heroes away. The D hero Destroyer Phoenix mini engine, I guess the Destiny Fusion Destiny, is something that pretty much every deck can throw in because it's so broken and easy to pull off. So if you have those cards, you want to run them, it's another option. I didn't have them, or I didn't have the D Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer when I showed you guys the matches, so I didn't really incorporate it. I do have the Fusion now, but I don't know. I mean, I guess you would have to make your ritual summoning more inconsistent to run those cards, sacrifice something. I mean, as you guys can see, there's not really much you can sacrifice. I guess maybe Battle Fader, maybe like a Hand Trap. Maybe you want to drop Chaos End Dragon completely. It depends if you want to run Fusion Destiny. If you're going to do Fusion Destiny, you need at least a minimum of 3 to 4 cards, plus the Destroyer Phoenix in your extra deck. So just take that into consideration. Anyways, this is the deck profile, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. Wasai!